So most people would have picked 1 decade, but my ADHD brain decided to choose 5. 28 dominoes, a custom display box and a Skull Sunday crossover, and somehow I thought getting all this finished in time was a good idea. Future Tony was absolutely fuming. Right, so before any of that could happen, I first had to figure out exactly what I was going to make. So before touching any resin, I spent ages writing this list over and over again, trying to decide which domino belonged to which decade, what vinyl to use, and somehow how to squeeze all those ideas into 28 tiny dominoes. My biggest problem to solve was the vinyl. Because the dominoes are poured face down, I needed to work out the best way to apply it. So before committing to all 28 dominoes, I tested 2 different methods. Placing the vinyl directly into the resin with the sticky side down first and the second with the sticky side up. At first there wasn't much difference, but 5 minutes later there definitely was. So thankfully I found that out before pouring the whole set. Next came deciding what would actually represent each decade. Just 5 dominoes for each, the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s and 2000s, which sounds simple until you realise that everybody remembers those decades differently, and trying to squeeze all those ideas into something only 4.5 centimetres long definitely took a little bit of thought and planning. So between finding images and recreating them in Design Space, this whole process took me nearly 4 hours. But because my ADHD brain refuses to believe that the first layout is ever right, everything got moved around and changed more times than I'd like to admit, before I finally accepted that I was finished. The one thing I was really thankful for, though, is that the Cricut does all the hard work for me. It sorts everything by colour, so literally all I had to do was load whichever vinyl it asked for next and let it get on with it. But let's all collectively pretend that organisation was good on my part. I'm going to happily take the credit for it. So now all my designs were cut, it was time for the dreaded weeding. Hi, I'm Tony from Georgies Gorgeous Gifts and welcome back. Today's project is a little bit different because the Crafting Together and Skull Sunday landed on exactly the same day this month, and apparently my ADHD brain looked at that and thought, challenge accepted. So I decided to combine them into one project. Right, now while the Cricut was doing its thing, I could finally get some resin involved. So I'm using the J Diction High Gloss resin and pouring a really thin clear layer into each of the dominoes. This isn't the finished pour, it's just there to give the vinyl something to sit on before the coloured resin goes in. And with them curing, it was finally time to start the weeding. Honestly, I wasn't convinced this first sheet was going to survive. The fact it had peeled away in one piece already felt like a victory though. But I was actually quite surprised that this didn't weed too badly. But looking back, it should have been my first clue that the easy part was about to end. Because then came the camper van and things started to go downhill quickly. Even the silver holographic vinyl decided to confuse me. Instead of the usual paper backing, it had this clear one, so for a while I was convinced it was iron-on. And when it came to the tiny eBay letters, oh my god, just say no more. These are just a few of the sounds that I kept in. Oh my god. Oh. I was seriously questioning my life choices at this point. I mean, come on, whose idea was this little Nokia? Oh, alright, it was mine. Then came the Rubik's Cube. Every single tiny square had to be weeded individually. Apparently past Tony wasn't a fan of making life easy for me, but once they were finally finished, I have to admit they're looking pretty good, apart from the fact I had about 10 million little stickers stuck to my hand. So as I started placing the vinyl, this project finally began to make sense. The peace sign and the tie-dye were my node to the 60s, while the lava lamp, disco dancer and the avocado green took me straight back to the 70s. The 80s, of course, had to have the Rubik's Cube, the oversized hair bow and the Action Man camouflage, while the 90s wouldn't have felt complete without a Nokia, a Game Boy and a little Jurassic Park inspiration. Then for the 2000s, I remembered things like eBay, MSN Messenger, YouTube and a little Millennium celebration. Little snapshots of the things I remember most from growing up. Then it was time to finish off the rest of the dominoes that didn't need any vinyl. So for this first one, I wanted to add a little extra detail to my Jurassic Park inspired domino for the 90s. So to create an embossed dinosaur footprint, I'm tracing over some clear acrylic using UV resin in a needle tip bottle. At this point it looked well, not very dinosaur-like, but you're going to have to trust me on this one. Next came another clear thin layer of resin, followed by some green to purple chameleon flakes. I wanted the footprint to have this slightly prehistoric reptilian feel once it was finished. And once it was cured, I peeled it away from the backing, thankfully in one piece, which doesn't always happen, but before fixing it into the domino with another thin layer of UV resin and popping it under my lamp. Then it was time for the next technique, and I really love this one. Yep, Blowing bubbles with a straw is officially part of the crafting process, but it also has a habit of going absolutely everywhere, but we're just going to ignore that bit. So by laying a thin layer of clear UV resin and placing the bubbles into the uncured resin, they pop as it cures, leaving behind this brilliant textured finish, absolutely perfect for creating a dragon scale effect. And I simply repeated the process, adding another thin layer of resin and more bubbles to build up the texture. Once I was happy with the pattern, I gave it a quick wipe to remove any excess water that's remaining. And after adding one final thin layer of UV resin and letting that partially cure, I'm rubbing in some green chrome powder to finish it off. Finally, I went back over the footprint itself so it stayed slightly raised above the background. It's only a tiny detail, but I think this is really going to finish off the piece. And one final cure and it's ready for its back in. Moving on to the 2000s, the Millennium Domino had to have these little stars, of course, and these tiny metallic ones seems like the perfect way to celebrate the start of a brand new millennium, which, let's face it, not an awful lot of us see. So once I'd scattered the stars all around, I'm sealing everything in with a thin layer of UV resin before curing. With those final details finished, it was time to start mixing the colours for the 70s domino. I wanted to stick to those classic 70s colours. Deep burnt orange, brown, mustard yellow and orange. They might not be the colours I'd normally reach for, but they're instantly recognisable as the 70s. Getting the shades to look right took a little bit of trial and error, as my first attempt at burnt orange ended up looking a little too brown, so instead of wasting it, I'm simply promoting it to the brown and starting again. My second attempt was much closer to what I was after, and after mixing up the mustard yellow, I was ready to create this retro raindrop pattern. So I'm starting to add random dots of each colour into the cured resin base. Random being the important word, because apparently my brain still wanted to line them all up. And considering my brain's so random, that's kind of weird. Next it was time for the giant hair bow that took me 3 attempts to weed. And of course, if you're going to represent the 80s, subtle really isn't an option. So I'm mixing together 2 different chunky glitters with some UV resin. Then I'm filling the outline, first to build up a little height, and then I'm dragging it out towards the edges to give more of a raised 3-dimensional feel before finishing curing it. Then we have my Action Man inspired domino. I'd already mixed up the camouflage colours off camera because, let's be honest, you've already watched me mix enough resin by this point. Camouflage is one of those patterns where there's not really a right or a wrong way to do it, so I'm just layering the greens, browns and black until it looks about right. Sometimes not overthinking it gives the best results. But I always feel a bit like one of the blokes from the 18 room crafting. If they could build a tank out of a wheelbarrow and a roll of duct tape, surely I can make a camouflage out of resin. And of course, you weren't a child of the 80s if you didn't have a Rubik's Cube, so out came the paint pens because there was absolutely no way I was filling all those tiny little squares with resin. So one by one, I coloured them in using the classic Rubik's Cube colours. It definitely took some patience, but it was completely worth it in the end. While I had the paint pens out, I thought I'd give this lava lamp a bit of a makeover. Another obvious choice for the 70s, so I went with the bright red, yellow and a silver outline. Then for the Game Boy screen, I'm colouring it in grey. It's amazing how one tiny grey rectangle suddenly makes it instantly recognisable. The Nokia screen had the same treatment, although by this point I was too invested to worry about whether the camera was in shot or not. Right, now with all the designs finished, it was time to start adding the middle layers. And for these dominoes, I'm using Tracy Super Sparkle White Glitter from Mini Scenes GB, and I've mixed it into some clear UV resin. This is just going to give it enough shimmer to catch the light without overpowering the design underneath before the backing layer goes on. I did start to notice a few bits of the vinyl slightly lifting, so before adding any more resin, I sealed everything down with a little bit of UV resin. Unfortunately, I didn't do a good enough job, as you'll see later on. So with everything finally locked into place, it was time to start mixing even more colours for the middle layers. So each domino had its own colour combination to match the decade it represented. Some were bright and bold, while others were a lot more subtle, but every single one was chosen to bring back a memory. So while you watch me bring these dominoes to life, I just wanted to tell you a little bit about our monthly Crafting Together collaboration. So on the 1st of every month, I spin a wheel to decide the next theme, and everyone has until the 26th of that month to upload their project. The best part is that it's open to absolutely any craft in any medium, whether you work with resin, paper, wood, sewing, cooking, or anything else. If it fits the theme, it fits the collaboration. So if that sounds something you'd enjoy, we'd love to have you join us. There's no competition, no pressure, just a fantastic group of creators inspiring each other every month. So you'll find all the information along with this month's playlist linked in the description below. So I also want to give a quick shout out to the other collaboration in this project. This is part of the Skull Sunday hosted by the lovely Lula from Nerd Goblin and Kaz from the Dragon's Cave. Again, all details to both collaborations are in the description below, along with a load of discount codes for you to enjoy saving some pennies. Now, with the Dominoes needing a full set, it's 28 pieces, so I used the final 3 to tell my own bit of a story for Georgie's Gorgeous Gifts. So one inspired by TikTok, and finally one for YouTube, showing the journey that my little business has taken over the years. The final middle layer was for the far out domino, and for this I went for an avocado green and brown mix. I was hoping it would really make that lettering stand out, and those colours absolutely screamed the 70s. So with the dominoes finally finished, it was time to turn my attention to where they were actually going to live. So this did come with its original storage box mould. But after putting this much time and effort into the project, I wanted something that felt a little more special. So out come the Let's Resin box mould, and I'm burnishing their holographic crown powder into every corner before pouring in the resin. Though the one thing I really like about these moulds is that they come with the wooden support frames, which help stop the sides from bowing when the resin cures. Simple idea, but it makes a huge difference on larger moulds like these. So for the backing, I wanted a really dark gunmetal silver. So I'm starting with this silver grey pigment and adding a little black pigment paste to deepen the colour. And after giving it a good mix, it looked exactly how I'd imagined. A rich metallic gunmetal. Or so I'd thought. But as soon as I'd started pouring it into the mould, I realised that something wasn't quite right. It looked far more transparent than I expected. And pulling out the mixing stick confirmed it. Rookie mistake. I really should have tested the opacity before I started pouring. I'm hoping that because I've burnished all that holographic powder into the mould, it's still going to have a chance of saving it. So after adding a little bit more black pigment paste, it was now the colour that I wanted it. So while that was curing, it was time to finish the dominoes. But unfortunately, I'd managed to create one last little problem for myself. Some of the neon colours had gone on so thin that they were still slightly transparent, and if I'd backed them straight with the dark resin, it would have completely changed how they look from the front. So the solution was actually really simple. A really thin layer of white resin first, making sure that it reached into every corner. This is going to give the brighter colours a solid background, keeping them vibrant before adding the final gunmetal back into the rest of them. So off camera, I topped up the final 4 dominoes, and they were finally ready for demould. This is always my favourite part of any resin project because it's the first time you get to see whether all those layers and colours and tiny details have actually come together the way you'd imagined. Thankfully, most of them come out exactly as I'd hoped. There were a couple of places where the resin had managed to creep underneath the vinyl, but overall, I was genuinely over the moon with how they'd turned out. There was just one final detail left before they could officially be called a set of dominoes: the dots. So originally I'd planned to use white for the dots, but once I saw the finished dominoes, I realised they just didn't stand out enough, so a last minute changed plan and I swapped to black instead. And looking over the finished set, there are definitely a couple of things I'd do differently next time. A few of the vinyls weren't quite sealed down enough, which let a little resin seep underneath, and the far out lettering also ended up backwards, although I'm blaming that one on crafting at stupid o'clock in the morning. On the plus side, adding that thin white backing for the gunmetal resin was definitely the right decision. It stopped the brighter colours from disappearing into the dark background and really made them pop. If I had to pick my favourite, it would probably be the Miami Vice domino. The sunset blend came out exactly how I had pictured it, and the white backing really made those colours glow, although I have to admit, the Pac-Man one came out pretty close behind. So it's amazing how something as simple as a set of dominoes can bring back so many memories from growing up, and seeing all 28 together made those late nights feel so worthwhile. So every domino has its own little story, and together they become a project that's far more than just a set of dominoes. I absolutely love them. Let me know in the comments what you think. So when it came to demoulding the box, it came out beautifully. The holographic chrome around the sides catches that light really well and gives it a really premium look. The only downside was the top of the lid, because that was the open face of the mould and there was nowhere for the chrome powder to transfer. But I already had a plan for that. So I bet you'd thought I'd forgotten all about Skull Sunday. Well, my original plan was to create a hologram effect using a hidden light inside the box and a skull, but unfortunately it didn't arrive in time. So the cutting was the easy part, the weeding definitely wasn't. There were that many tiny details that it felt like it almost took as long as making some of the dominoes. Once I'd finished weeding, I applied some transfer tape and carefully positioned it onto the lid. This is always one of those slightly nerve-wracking moments because you really only get one chance to line it up properly. But as soon as I peeled away the transfer tape, I knew I'd made the right decision, and against that black background, the holographic silver shifts through different colours as the light catches it. So with that, there was only one thing left to do: fill the box, and seeing all 28 dominoes sitting together in their finished home was a perfect ending to this project. So I really hope you've enjoyed coming along for the journey. If you did, don't forget to check out both the Crafting Together and the School Sunday playlist to see what everyone else has created. So all that's left is for me to leave you with some glamour pictures. I've been Tony from Georgie's Gorgeous Gifts. Stay safe, happy crafting, and bye for now.
Crafting together, we make it better. Crafting together. Your little touch, my little mess. Crafting together. Yeah, we do our best. Paint on the mug, ink on the sleeve. You miss one step, then you